Gavin Constantine making his Blues debut in the summer of 2025. After playing last summer for San Luis Obispo, he makes his return to the Central Coast, and he's pinch hitting for Sean Strittmatter in the bottom half of the 8th inning where the Blues are up 2-1. And Constantine gets plunked by a pitch right in the back. Hit by pitch to Gavin Constantine. Welcome back to San Luis Obispo, kid.
That is quite the welcome for Constantine. Hit by pitch, and he's no stranger to that last year. Got hit plenty of times.
So now it's Cam Andrews, who walked tonight and hit a couple of cue shots to the second baseman, Mata. 0 for 2 with Constantine at first. Blues trying to tack on with some more insurance runs over the Santa Maria Indians. As I said in the pregame show, not just a must-win, but a must-dominant game for the Blues. Here's the pitch. And this one is missing outside to Andrews for a ball. And we talked about the Swiss Army knife nature of Cade O'Hara, the versatility, that's better. He's getting hot in the bullpen for the Blues. 1-0 is a sweeper missing outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Andrews.
Yeah, and he told me before the game today that his goal was to go 3 for 3 with 3 knocks and then come in the 9th and strike out 2 batters. So he's getting, he doesn't have the hits. He did walk 3 times, and that also has a base hit, but, he might have the opportunity to still strike out a couple batters in the 9th.
3-0 or 2-0, and that misses inside to Andrews. Andrews walked just 1 time this past season with San Francisco State and 38 at-bats, made 10 starts for the Gators. This one missing high and inside for ball 4. So a hit by pitch and a walk begins things in the 8th inning, and up comes E.J. Royal with runners on first and second. The pitching coach for Santa Maria, Michael Tackett, coming out there, and it looks like the right-hander Jonah Lopez's day will come to an end. We'll let you know who the new noodle is right after this on the SLO Blue Streaming Network. Top of the order for San Luis Obispo. E.J. Royal will be the first to face the new pitcher, Ruben Ramirez, the Panther from Pioneer Valley High School. Just finished up his senior season with the Panthers, a 2.50 earned run average in 6 appearances, 14 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts to 7 walks. And with runners on first and second, EJ has the chance to extend the lead. Constantine takes off from second to third. There will be no throw as Royal looks at strike one. Stolen base for Gavin Constantine, the first time he's been on base for the Blues this summer. He reached on a hit by pitch from Jonah Lopez, and if he were to come in to score, that run would be on Lopez. Same goes for Cam Andrews, who's at first. Runners at the corners for Royal, and an 0-1 count as he showed bunt and pulled it back and looked at strike one. Cade O'Hara stands on deck, and he was warming up in the Blues bullpen to come in relief. 0-1, and Royal watches that one outside, 1-1.
Yeah, and EJ squared to bunt, which pulled the third baseman in, which means Constantine had a pretty easy bag stolen because there was nobody really covering third. There was no offer from Josue Garcia. He didn't even get out of his squat.
Andrews jab steps at first, and the 1-1 misses outside again. 2 balls and a strike to EJ. Royal, a graduate student, leaving Utah Tech this spring. 2 great years at Cuesta College, landed him a Division I spot with the Bison. Now he's looking for a new home. 2-1, and Royal late on this offering, sending it up and out of play for strike 2. So
a very different summer for EJ this year than last year. Last year, he was returning to Utah Tech, not really looking, just to sharpen his game a little bit. Now looking for a new place to call home, and after a rough season at Utah Tech, coaches at all the other Division I programs are going to be looking at EJ's games this summer.
2-2. Royal cues it right back into the screen. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If he can produce anything like he did last summer for the Blues with his .380 batting average, I think a lot of Division I coaches will be pretty pleased with that and might give EJ a shot.
Absolutely, and a brand new mindset this summer, trying to keep the ball low, hit low line drives, exact opposite of what was going on at Utah Tech. 2-2, and Royal with a late swing sends this curveball into the trees and out of play. Once again, we'll do it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Royal with a single in the 7th inning, his first hit of the evening. 1 for 4 today. Runners at first and third. 2-1 game. Blues lead in the bottom of the 8th with no outs. 2-2 misses outside, fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Royal, a slow native, a Slocal if you will, from Arroyo Grande. Ramirez comes set from the belt. Nods, peeks at first, now kicks and deals. 3-2 is spun on and fouled behind home plate. Once again at 3 balls and 2 strikes for EJ. Good battle here against the new pitcher, Ruben Ramirez. Certainly getting a lot of data to bring back to his teammates in the dugout on the new pitcher. Ramirez kicks and deals. 3-2, missing high and outside for ball 4. EJ Royal with a walk fills the bases for Cade O'Hara. Hit by pitch, walk, and a walk this inning for the Blues. Filling it up without putting a single ball in play.
Cade O'Hara, who's coming to play right now, has only put the ball in play once, and it was a base hit. And the other 3 times, he walked. He's reached base all 4 times. He's looking to do so again right now and produce an RBI for his team.
Infield playing in for Santa Maria. The bases loaded and no one out. First pitch off speed, missing low, ball no strikes.
O'Hara has a single RBI this season, which came on a RBI walk in the 2nd inning of Game 3 of the summer versus the West Coast Kings, and a 3-run 2nd inning.
.1-0 missing outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Hitters count to Cade O'Hara. Bases loaded, no one out. Blues up 2-1. Here's a 2-0. And Cade rips it through the 5-5 hole, a base hit. One run is in. It's Gavin Constantine racing around third, and scoring is Andrews. Two-run single, Cade O'Hara, and the Blues pounce 4-1 over the Indians.
Cade O'Hara just getting it done with the bat today. A great piece of hitting there to get it through the 5-5 hole. Cam Andrews is racing around third base. What I loved about Cam Andrews' approach there on the bases is his secondary was not only towards third but also back a little bit, so when he's coming to third, he already had a good angle to run home and make it not even close at the plate.
I feel like we've seen two completely different teams separated by the halfway point in the fifth. Comerford towers it into center field. Call moving to his right on a couple of steps. Saunters underneath it, makes the grab, tagging from third. Second, heading to third is E.J. Royal. E.J. makes it a productive out for Comerford.
Not the best day at the plate for Comerford. He had that base hit in the third, but other than that, he really hasn't done too much with the bat. Usually, I mean, this summer, like Nate and I mentioned early in the first inning, we named him our player of the week for opening weekend with his 8 RBIs, but tonight just hasn't had the same offensive production.
That's how baseball goes sometimes, as the Indians finally get their first out, and Smith hits this one off the hands. Tough to see in the sky, but the shortstop Hall makes the grab with one hand for the second out of the inning. So now it's Don Jordan, who is 3 for 3 tonight with a single, with a 2 RBI single and a walk in the fourth.
He's had his best game of the summer so far. He only recorded 1 hit prior to today, and like Nate just mentioned, 3 hits today with a pair of RBIs, a stolen base and a walk. He's yet to score a run, however.
Runners at first and third, and the first pitch is sent the opposite way, falling fast in the right field. Cepeda with another spectacular grab. That will end the inning, but not before the Blues tack on 2 more. It's 4-1 San Luis Obispo heading into the ninth. Last chance for the Indians on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Ready?
Top of the ninth inning at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues up 4-1 over the Santa Maria Indians following the 2-run single from Cade O'Hara, who will remain at shortstop so far in this game. Back out there, it's Scott Bauman once again. And the first pitch missing low and outside to Cesar Garcia for ball one. And I thought for a second there that we'd see Cade O'Hara come in to pitch as he was warming up in the Blues bullpen. Here's the 1-0. And Garcia watches that one for a strike. Cesar 0 for 4 today. A grounder to the shortstop O'Hara. Unassisted put out from Comerford at first, and a fly ball to the center fielder Royal. From the windup, here's Bauman. 1-1, missing downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. And this game has moved along so quickly that the fog hasn't even come into effect yet.
No, it has not. Still a beautiful sky, sunset out to our right up here in the press box. Nate and I are hunting for the moon.
Yep. 2-1, a high bouncing ball down the third base line and foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nate, I'm going to go on a mission. I'll be right back.
Okay. So if you're unfamiliar with Ryan and I's tradition, we love looking at the moon and guessing how full it is, the percentage. If you go on the NASA website, you'll see that they record how full the moon is each night. 2-2, chopped and fouled in front of home plate. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It became sort of a funny trend last year on the broadcast to look at the moon percentage. And on games like this, it's an opportune time to do such a thing. Although Ryan and I have had an issue locating the moon. It looks like we got a photo here from Ryan Giacomini. And Cesar Garcia gears up on the 2-2 with no outs. Here's Bauman. Hard grounder to the shortstop O'Hara. Bobbles it, and he can't come up with it. Second error of the night from Cade O'Hara in the 9th inning.
Not what you want to see out of your shortstop right there. O'Hara just tough time fielding that one. Tried to get it out of the glove too quickly. As I'm going to get this photo onto the broadcast so everyone in the stream could see it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So just bear with me for a second. I'll have it.
We'll get the moon up. For now, Chris Johnson will be pinch hit for it, looks like. And replacing him, it's Landon Cook. Landon Cook coming in for Chris Johnson, who had a pretty difficult night at the plate. Couple of Ks and a ground out to the second baseman, who at one time was Sean Strittmatter. It's now Gavin Constantine after Constantine pinch hit for the Cuesta Cougar. Also getting a pinch runner over at first base for Garcia. Number 26 for the Santa Maria Indians. Noah Duran over there at first base.
We have a pinch runner on first base, number 26, Noah Duran.
So Landon Cook gets the AB, and Chris Johnson's day is over. Runner on first. Bauman comes set from the stretch. Couple of nods, now kicks and deals. First pitch is sent straight back in the net for strike 1.
All right, Nate, you want to see the moon?
Yeah, let's put it up for the people.
All right. That's what it looked like today here in SLO.
Ryan, that's a terrible photo.
I know. Bear with me. But you can see the moon. The moon is there.
I can.
And it doesn't help, too, that it's overlaid with the background of the game.
That's the moon, folks. Write your guesses in the chat. 0-1, missing low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Landon Cook, a rising freshman and a graduate from Paso Robles High School.
Nate, what's your guess? Again, it's tough to say. If you want to go take a peek, it's out above the press box.
It looks pretty significantly more full than last night,
Yeah.
which was, what was it, like 18? I didn't buy it.
I think it was 13 last night.
13 last night?
Yeah. According to, well, it depends. So Nate and I
No, we're not using the Apple one.
Okay, so NASA.
Yeah.
Okay, NASA had 8% last night.
Yeah. Which
8.
I don't buy, but, you know.
So what is your guess for tonight? Context, it was 8% last night.
So a hint for our audience. There's a 2-1. Is in there for a strike. Nice frame job by Andrews to bring that pitch back into the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm gonna go with a 24 spot.
Whoa, that's a big jump.
Based on the photo you showed, I'm gonna say 24.
It's really hard to tell. I mean, I'm taking the photo on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's way up in the sky. So I don't know if the photo really did it too much justice.
2-2, taken, strike 3. Slider on the outside corner from Scott Bauman, and there's one gone in the ninth.
You know, I will go, let's go 18.
Whoa.
A 10% jump. 10% jump.
10% jump. Pinch hitter for Abel Mata is Penato coming into this game. Mateo Penato. First pitch missing well outside, a ball, no strikes.
You want to reveal the answer, Nate?
Wait, let me see it again.
Yeah.
16%. Great job, Ryan.
Just 2% off.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good guess. Maybe if I had a better photograph, I could have gotten closer. Did you rub your thumb on it? What happened? 1-0, swung on and missed for strike 1.
You know, I think it's just the fact that, you know, A, it's on my iPhone, and B, it only zooms 5x. So
what's your iPhone?
I got a 13, but it's only the dual camera one. I don't get the triple camera.
I got the tri-cam.
Yeah,
on mine,
you could do what, 15x? Is that what the zoom? Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Well, just tomorrow we'll take the photo on your phone if there is a moon before the game ends.
That's right. Tomorrow's first pitch at 4 p.m. against the California Expos. We'll be right back here on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. We'll always be here for every game on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. 2-1 counts to Mateo Penato, the pinch hitter for Abel Mata, who was 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. 2-1. And Penato hits it off the hands and into the concession stands. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Blues just a ground ball away from ending this game and getting their 4th win of the summer against the Indians.
Long hold on the 2-2 offering. Here it comes. Slider on the outside corner. There's strikeout for Bauman. 5 Ks for Scott Bauman. There's 2 gone in the 9th inning. The Blues 1 out away from putting a bow on a dub.
Bauman has just been locked in today.
I like what I see out of the kid, Scott Bauman. Some nasty movement on those pitches. He's sequencing the Indians well. I feel like this stuff's going to play once we enter conference action. So now it's Johnny DeBrum, the former Blue, digging in with a runner on first and 2 gone. Indians trailing 4-1 in the top of the 9th. As that fastball hits the outer half for strike 1. DeBrum 1 for 3 today. A single in the second. He was stranded on second base there. Wearing 1 batting glove on his bottom hand. The right hand is bare. 0-1. Another pitch down the middle of the plate for a strike. Indians down to their final strike of the evening. Fans bellow for their hot sauce in the top of the 9th inning. It would be their 11th bottle if they do so. Long pause from Bauman as he sighs and comes home. 0-2 is sweeper missing just outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
It's a really good location and a 0-2 count from Bauman to try to get a ugly swing or maybe some weak contact to the right side.
1-2 with 2 gone, a runner at first base. Blues trying to seal a victory over the Santa Maria Indians. Game 1 of a 3-game weekend at Sinsheimer. Here's a 1-2. Swing and a soft pop up to the first baseman, Comerford, who makes the grab on the run and ends the ball game at 8:44 p.m. The Blues take the 4-1 victory over the Santa Maria Indians, and they improve to 4-1 on the season.
Just exactly what you want to see from the Blues. Pitching-wise, hitting still didn't come around until the later innings, but allowing just 2 hits and 1 unearned run. That's a great game from the Blues pitching staff. A great job by Viale, and then Paxton with his 2 innings, and then Bauman to round it out with the last 3.
A quick little 2-hour and 43-minute game here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and a much-needed victory for San Luis Obispo. Not just a must-win game, a must-dominate game. They didn't come through on the dominate side of things, but they certainly got the W. And what was kind of a scary moment for San Luis Obispo to begin this one, a hit by pitch in the 3rd inning seemed to be the one mark that they had on this game, but luckily a couple of timely pieces of hitting from Kate O'Hara, and Don Jordan bailed them out into a victory.
I think the one thing they got to work on tomorrow outside of the hitting are the error numbers. 3 errors again today, and 2 that were honestly just routine grounders that, honestly all 3 were routine plays that just have to be made in the field. And come Tuesday when you play Sonoma, who, is hosting a game right now against the Petaluma Leghorns, is beating them 7-4. It's a team that can hit. It's a team that can pitch. It's a good CCL opponent. You can't have those errors against good CCL teams.
The boys tip their caps to a well-supported Blues audience. And Ryan, did we ever get a final attendance on tonight's game?
We did, 1407.
1407 filling the house at Sinsheimer Stadium, and they were in for a roller coaster. A lot of there was kind of a hush around Sinsheimer when they saw that they were trailing 1-0 against the Indians. It got a little freaky there for a second, but finally some late innings traffic bailed out San Luis Obispo to get a W. I want to talk about something too, Ryan. Tonight's pitching just stayed in the zone exactly how they were supposed to also.
Yeah, just a couple of walks for the squad, just 1 actually, and then the hit by pitch only allowing 2 free passes. That's really good from the team. That's one thing you definitely want to build on, and something for especially Viale, who's going to be a guy who's going to start for the Blues, I think, all summer long. That's something he needs to continue to do. He threw really well, no walks to 3 strikeouts, whereas first outing, 5 walks to 2 strikeouts.
So San Luis Obispo returns to action tomorrow at Sinsheimer Stadium, but they will face the California Expos on Saturday and on Sunday before heading off to Sonoma to play their first CCL North opponent in conference play. The Blues win this one 4-1 over the Santa Maria Indians. For Nate Mills and for Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network, bidding you a good night.